Welcome to Deep Sleep Stories. My name is Matt. I know this podcast is quite new, but some of you have been following along for a while now. As you may have noticed, the narrator has changed a couple of times already in just a few months. The truth is, the podcast has been growing extremely slow, and basically nobody has left us any reviews so far. I'm here as the new voice of the podcast and would love to stick around, but I need your support to do so. Please, if you enjoy our content, it would mean so much to us if you could just leave us a review on whichever podcast platform you use. Now, take a deep breath and let's begin tonight's story.
Welcome to Deep Sleep Stories, where gentle tales guide you into a calm and restful slumber. Tonight, you are invited to drift into a warm, starlit garden, alive with shimmering fireflies, guiding you toward a gentle, peaceful rest. Allow yourself to settle into this soothing space. Notice how your body begins to feel lighter, as though you've left behind the weight of the day. Your breathing slows, and your mind starts to float on the hush of a calm breeze. Feel the warmth of quiet anticipation rising in your chest, and let that warmth radiate through your limbs. Inhale softly, exhale slowly. As you do, imagine each breath loosening the small knots of tension that might still cling to your muscles. Let every exhalation carry away the lingering fragments of worry, leaving you floating on a gentle sea of relaxation. Listen for just a moment to the stillness beneath the sounds around you. Gently close your eyes or soften your gaze. There is nothing to do now but wander into this peaceful night. Allow the idea of a tranquil garden, bathed in the soft glow of fireflies, to fill your mind with quiet delight. Breathe in, sink deeper, and prepare to enjoy a journey into the heart of a serene summer evening. In this gentle place of imagination, everything slows to an unhurried pace. Your breath is your guide. Each inhale and exhale a gentle wave, carrying you closer to rest. Now let the story unfold before you, shifting softly so that you can relax fully, stepping out of active participation and into a more restful space. Feel the transition coming over you, like a feather drifting to earth, light and easy. Your thoughts drift into the background, and the scenes gently reveal themselves without effort. Let go of any lingering need to direct your attention and allow the story to simply flow. The garden is here, waiting, and you are ready to wander into its hushed enchantment. On a balmy evening, beneath a canopy of twinkling stars, a lone figure steps onto a garden path where the world feels hushed and content. The sun has only just slipped below the horizon, leaving a gentle glow in the sky, a ribbon of dusky pink and lavender that melts into the inky blue of night. This garden is a hidden sanctuary, a quiet patch of earth lovingly tended by an attentive caretaker who finds solace among growing things. Grass brushes softly against the sides of sturdy stepping stones, forming a gentle green carpet that cushions each footstep. Silvery moonlight gleams on dew-laden leaves, where droplets of water cling like tiny jewels. The warm night air is gently scented with the fragrance of honeysuckle and lavender, making the place feel at once familiar and entrancing. In the center of the garden stands an ancient oak tree, its branches fanning out like comforting arms. Even now, in the hush of evening, faint chirps and peeps of crickets flutter in the background, a lullaby shared among the leaves. A soft glow begins to flicker in the distance, and at first, it might seem as though the stars have fallen from the sky to dance among the flowers. But these lights belong to the fireflies, tiny beacons of warmth that hover in slow circles, weaving around blossoms and skimming the tops of tall grasses. The figure in the garden, let us call them the caretaker, a gentle soul devoted to nurturing every green shoot and delicate petal, walks slowly, as though mindful of each living thing beneath their feet. When the caretaker pauses, the fireflies appear to gather more thickly, waltzing around the figure in a gentle swirl. Their glow is calm and rhythmic, pulsing like a steady, comforting heartbeat. The caretaker looks upon these little lamps in the darkness with quiet gratitude. Beneath the oak's dark branches, a well-worn wooden bench offers a place of rest. Its slats creak softly as the caretaker sits, releasing a contented sigh into the stillness. The evening's warmth envelopes every surface, wrapping the garden in a comforting embrace. Now and then, a faint breeze slips through, rustling the leaves and carrying the delicate perfume of flowers across the garden's expanse. As the sky deepens toward midnight's hue, the caretaker recalls the day that led to this serene moment. It began with the earliest glow of dawn, and the garden was a chorus of bird song, and the dew was fresh upon the roses. Quiet tasks filled the hours, plucking a few stray weeds from the vegetable patch, checking on the tomatoes that ripened under the sun's nurturing gaze, and welcoming the bees that buzzed about the lavender. The caretaker had taken time to gently water each plot, mindful of not disturbing the morning hush. Later, a soft wind came to rustle the leaves, as though whispering secrets from the forest beyond. All day, the caretaker moved with a measured calm, grateful for the small wonders that each hour brought. And now, when the heat of the day has faded, the caretaker revels in the gentle darkness. The stars have multiplied, scattered across the sky in a vast blanket of shimmering light. Rising above the fence line, the moon hangs low and round, a friend guiding each step. From the edges of the garden, tall flowers sway, hollyhocks and sunflowers nodding in the dimness, their broad faces turned to catch the last traces of moonlight. Between them, diminutive blossoms, petunias, pansies, and sweet alyssum add their subtle colors and perfumes to the night's tapestry. Every petal seems alive with a tender glow, a subtle reflection of the many dancing fireflies. One can imagine the caretaker leaning forward slightly, elbows resting on knees, simply watching the small orbs of light floating by. Time feels slow and expansive here, as though measured in the intervals between the flickers of a firefly's glow. The caretaker finds solace in that slow pulse of light, a rhythmic dance that mirrors a gentle, steady breath. There is no hurry, no pressing need. The garden is a realm of rest and contemplation, inviting all who enter to pause, to notice, and to appreciate the delicate balance of life that thrives under the moon's tender guidance. Nearby stands a small stone pond, its surface capturing the shine of both moon and stars. Along the water's edge, lilies lie asleep, their closed petals resting on broad leaves. A few dragonflies, lingering from the day, occasionally flit across the pond surface, stirring soft ripples that radiate outward like a quiet lullaby. The caretaker has placed a simple lantern on a rock beside the pond. Its flame is low, wavering gently, casting shapes that dance along the water's surface. Fireflies float around this flame as well, intrigued by its warm glow, as though greeting a distant cousin of their own brilliant sparkle. The caretaker, lulled by the night's hush, stands and moves to the edge of the pond, stooping to run fingertips through the cool water. In the stillness, it becomes easy to notice how the water cradles even the slightest movement, mirroring the caretaker's calm presence. A soothing hush fills the air, blending with the faint trickle of water as it passes through a small stone channel carved in the pond's side. The caretaker closes their eyes for a moment, letting the murmur of water and the cricket song merge into one tranquil melody. This is the time of night when the mind grows clear, like a lake just before dawn, unruffled by the winds of the world. The caretaker breathes, releasing any thought of tomorrow or yesterday. In the lingering warmth of the evening, there is only the present, marked by each comforting glow of a firefly's tiny lantern. Among the blossoms of the garden's far corner, a gently winding path leads toward a curved arbor, draped with climbing roses. The caretaker follows that path. As footsteps move across soft earth, the fireflies form a meandering escort, flickering along the edges of the path, revealing low stones and guiding each step. A whisper of wind carries the sweet scent of the roses, along with a hint of mint and thyme from a nearby herb patch. The air is alive with the nighttime hush, which is not an absence of sound, but rather a softer, deeper presence of life at rest. A small archway frames the entrance to a secluded nook where a modest wooden table sits beneath a trailing canopy of vines. This nook is the caretaker's secret retreat, a space for reflection whenever day turns to night. Earlier in the day, a pitcher of cool water and a cup were placed there. Now, with the night wrapped close, the caretaker pours a glass and sips slowly, savoring the coolness that gently slides over the throat. The eyes wander, taking in the gentle swaying of leaves, the quick glimmer of wings, and the unhurried wanderings of small creatures that come out under the stars. One might see a tiny field mouse scurry from behind the table leg, whiskers twitching as it sniffs for seeds or crumbs. Fireflies continue their gentle ballet overhead, their glow reflected in the caretaker's calm gaze. Memories begin to blossom in the caretaker's thoughts. Soft recollections of summers gone by, nights spent under the same oak, listening to stories carried by the wind. Long ago, as a child, the caretaker would watch fireflies hover just out of reach, always flickering a few steps ahead, as if inviting a playful game of chase. The caretaker would run across soft grass, jar in hand, hoping to capture that living sparkle, only to discover later that fireflies are best admired in their natural dance, free under the sky. The caretaker now recalls those moments with a gentle smile, understanding that some beauties are better left uncontained. This understanding fills the caretaker's heart with tender gratitude for the simpler joys that come each night when the garden breathes freely. Familiar with the garden's nocturnal rhythm, the caretaker stands again, rising into the hush. Steps carry them toward a small patch of wildflowers that gently sway in the warm breeze. the caretaker had intentionally let this corner remain untamed, allowing the wildness of nature to thrive in delicate harmony. Night-blooming jasmine grows near the edge, releasing a sweet scent into the air. In times of gentle contemplation, the caretaker finds comfort in witnessing nature's willingness to flourish in every corner, to bloom under the uncertain dance of the moon and stars. There, in that faint light, the fireflies intermingle with the perfume of jasmine, and everything becomes a tapestry of shimmering scents and delicate sparks. As the caretaker moves along, a soft hum arises from a group of insects hidden among the vines. Nighttime pollinators, drawn by the subtle gleam of moonlit blossoms, make their rounds, continuing the cycle that ensures the garden's continued vitality. The caretaker respects their dedication, moving quietly so as not to disturb their necessary work. A hush of awe accompanies each step. This hush does not come from solitude alone, but from a sense of belonging, of being part of the night's ecosystem. The caretaker listens intently, as if hearing a lullaby that is always present, yet only truly audible when the mind grows still. Deeper into the garden, near the far wall, a small orchard of dwarf fruit trees stands. Beneath the leaves of a peach tree, the caretaker notices several fireflies drifting among the low-hanging branches. The ripe peaches, their skins velvety and sweet, seem to draw a faint reflection of the flickering light, as though touched by a gentle glow. The caretaker gently checks the fruit, brushing fingertips across the fuzzy surface. In the soft light, the colors are muted, but there is no need to see every hue clearly. The caretaker can sense ripeness through the subtle give of the fruit, the faint aroma that drifts upwards, reminding them of summer's endless generosity. At this late hour, the orchard feels as though it floats in time. The caretaker, feeling the slowing rhythm of the evening, lingers among the trees. Overhead, a shooting star briefly darts across the sky, leaving a fleeting trace of brilliance. The caretaker's heart quickens just a moment at this cosmic spectacle, then settles once more into the enveloping calm. Each breath feels connected to the wide expanse above, bridging the distance between earth and sky. A gentle sigh escapes, more an expression of appreciation than fatigue. Here is harmony, a space where plants, insects, and the quiet presence of the caretaker merge into one soft scene. Gradually, the caretaker wanders back to the large oak tree at the garden's heart. The bench beneath its branches offers a comfortable seat once more. Seated, the caretaker allows the eyelids to soften, lulled by the faint rustle of leaves overhead. The tree stands like a silent guardian, its trunk broad and reassuring, its branches sheltering the caretaker from the open sky. A light breeze ruffles the caretaker's hair, and the oak's leaves shimmer in the starlight. Above, the moon sails slowly on its path, content in its unwavering watch. Now the crickets grow louder, as if providing a gentle chorus to the flicker of the fireflies. The caretaker observes these dancing sparks, letting their presence fill the night with a gentle, living radiance. Each flash is brief, yet it persists in memory, weaving a tapestry of luminescent dots across the darkness. Thoughts become as gentle as these lights, drifting in and out without urgency. In that drifting, the caretaker feels safe, like a child wrapped in a familiar blanket. The gentle murmuring of insect wings, the occasional hoot of an owl in the distance, and the whisper of nighttime breezes all contribute to a sense of completeness. It is as though the garden is singing a lullaby that has existed for centuries, inviting anyone who listens to slip into its tender arms. In the stillness, the fireflies appear to take on a pattern. Their glow is not random, but rather a choreographed dance of silent communication. One lights up, another responds, and together they create a silent conversation of hope and reassurance. The caretaker contemplates how these tiny creatures embody the essence of peaceful connection, their fleeting sparks echoing the simple truth that small lights can brighten the vast tapestry of night. Even a single firefly, shining in the dark, carries a sense of warmth that soothes the spirit. The caretaker breathes slowly, inhaling the garden's fragrance and exhaling a silent prayer of gratitude. The caretaker's gaze drifts around the garden's perimeter, where trimmed hedges frame the scene in soft, rounded shapes. At the base of the hedges, smooth stones form a delicate border. Some are painted with whimsical designs left by visitors who found solace here during daylight hours. Even now in the darkness, faint hints of color may be glimpsed when the fireflies pass by. Each stone represents a moment of creativity, a cheerful memento of the garden's role as a place of shared serenity. Time continues its peaceful flow. The caretaker, feeling a gentle drowsiness settle in the limbs, stretches slightly, letting muscles relax further. There is a sense that the garden itself is a cradle, rocking softly under the watchful sky. The caretaker leans back against the bench, letting the heart slow to the unhurried pace of night. The crickets keep their steady beat. The leaves offer a hushed counterpoint, and the stars shine on, unconcerned and constant. Perhaps an hour passes, or maybe just a few minutes. Here, the measurement of time is unimportant. The caretaker is simply present, lulled by the shimmering quiet. Eventually, the caretaker's thoughts turn to rest. The day was long, though gentle, and the spirit yearns for the deep comfort of sleep. Rising from the bench with careful movements, the caretaker glances around once more. The path back to the cottage is only partially lit by moonlight, but the garden's silent guides, those drifting fireflies, are more than enough to illuminate the way. Step by unhurried step, the caretaker makes the short journey across soft grasses and back to the simple cottage door. It creaks quietly on its hinges, granting entry to a cozy interior. Though the walls shield the caretaker from the open night, the memory of that tranquil scene remains like a warm echo within. Inside, by the window that faces the oak, the caretaker props the shutters slightly ajar to let in the night air. Even from within, the flicker of fireflies can still be seen, bobbing gently outside like friendly phantoms. A small candle is lit on a table, spreading a dim, golden glow across the room. The caretaker settles onto a comfortable resting place, feeling the final waves of wakefulness recede. There is a sweet contentment in the knowledge that outside, the garden continues its gentle dance, undisturbed by the thoughts of day. A final glimpse of that glowing world, filtered through the window, brings a soft smile to the caretaker's face. Eyes close, and the hush of the garden merges with the steady rhythm of a slowing heartbeat. Time unwinds in the quiet, expanding each second so it becomes a pocket of gentle calm. In that space, the caretaker's breathing becomes softer and deeper. The surroundings fade from sharp detail to fuzzy warmth. Mind and body yield to the embrace of rest. Even as the caretaker drifts into slumber, the garden remains, an ever-present haven of life and light. The crickets call, the breeze gently passes, and the fireflies continue to spark against the night, sentinels of wonder in the silent hours before dawn. Now the story's gentle current flows into a space of deep ease. No longer is there the need to explore or wander. All that remains is the softness of the evening, the hush of leaves, and the lullaby of 1,000 twinkling fireflies. Let this ease wash over every muscle, guiding them to release, urging them to rest. Thoughts that once moved quickly have slowed to a comfortable drift, like leaves floating on a still pond. Breathing is gentle and unforced, each inhale a soft wave, each exhale a soothing retreat. The warmth of the night lingers, draping itself over the body like a light, comforting blanket. Picture the heart of the garden, with its tall grasses and flowers nodding in unison to the hush. In that center, imagine a gentle glow, a soft, radiant point that draws everything together in perfect harmony. One by one, each firefly's light ebbs and flows, merging in quiet unison, until the entire garden seems to breathe with a gentle, unified pulse. That glowing rhythm reflects the calmness in a resting spirit. It resonates in the quiet hush of the caretaker's breathing, and it can resonate in the listener's breath as well. Let these images grow faint, turning into pleasant impressions at the edge of awareness. The hush becomes absolute, wrapping the garden in a protective lull. A final flicker from a solitary firefly sparks in the distance, like a sleepy star drifting low upon the horizon. Now, let all else fade, slip away like the whisper of a breeze in the night. Sleep comes gently, a companion as kind and nurturing as the caretaker, as steadfast as the old oak, as soft as a warm summer wind, passing through tall grass. May that sweet peace fill every corner of the mind, leaving it light and unburdened. Good night, dear traveler. Let the memory of flickering fireflies guide you gently into the realm of dreams, where all is calm and every breath draws you deeper into restful slumber. May the warmth of this night and the soft sparkle of light dance through your thoughts, easing you toward a tranquil hush. Sleep well, and let the night's gentle spirit cradle you until dawn.